Friends, my channel name is Indian Epic History. Search this channel name on YouTube and select playlist option for all my videos like Ramayan, Mahabharat, Puran. Otherwise, click the channel name or picture below the video, then go to the playlist option. This is Bori Critical Valmiki Ramayan book Ayodhya Kand chapter 60. He was like a fire that had been pacified, like an ocean without water, like the sun robbed of its radiance. On seeing that the Lord of the earth had left for heaven, Kaushalya's eyes filled with tears, and she was afflicted by many kinds of grief. Taking the king's head on her lap, she spoke to Kaikeyi, O Kaikeyi, you have accomplished your desire without any thorns. Enjoy the kingdom alone, abandoning the king, O cruel one, O one evil in conduct, abandoning me. Rama has departed, and my husband has left for heaven. Dislodged from the path, I am without any sense of purpose. I have no interest in remaining alive. Abandoning a husband who was himself like a divinity, which woman would wish to remain alive? With the sole exception of Kaikeyi, who has cast aside dharma, like a person who eats what should not be eaten, a greedy individual does not understand a sin. Because of Kubja, Kaikeyi has destroyed the lineage of the Raghavas. She forced the king to do what should not be done and exiled Rama and his wife. Hearing this, Janaka will lament, just as I am. Through he is alive, the lotus eyed Rama has been destroyed, and so has the ascetic Sita, the daughter of the king of Videha. She does not deserve unhappiness and will be miserable at the difficulties in the forest. In the night, animals and birds will shriek in terrible tones. On hearing this, it is certain that she will be frightened and seek refuge with Raghava. He is aged and has no sons. Thinking of Bidahi, it is certain that he will be immersed in grief and will give up his life. The ascetic Kaushalya embraced him and lamented in this way, extremely miserable. The attendants removed her from the spot. The advisers immersed the king in a vessel of oil and thereafter did everything else that needed to be done for the king. Without a son being present, the ministers did not wish to perform the king's last rites. Knowing everything about what needed to be done, they therefore preserved the king's body in this way. The advisers laid down the king in a vessel of oil, knowing that he was dead. The woman lamented. They threw up their arms and were in a pitiable state, their eyes and faces overflowing with tears. Tormented by grief, they wept and wailed piteously. The city of Ayodhya was deprived of the great soul king and was like a night without stars, or like a woman abandoned by her husband. The eyes of people were full of tears, and women from noble lineages lamented. The crossroads and houses were empty and were no longer resplendent as they used to be earlier. It was as if the firmament, bereft of the sun, had lost its luster, and the night was bereft of its large number of nakshatras. Without the great soul one, the city lost its radiance. The roads and crossroads were crowded with people whose voices choked with tears. Crowds of men and women gathered and condemned Bharata's mother. When the god among men died, the city was afflicted and could not find any peace. Next, chapter 61. When night was over and the sun arose, There was an assembly of the king's officers and brahmanas. There was Markandeya, uh, Maudgalya, Bamdeva, Kashyapa, Katyayana, Gautama, and the immensely famous Javali. One by one, these Brahmanas and the advisors faced Vasishtha, best among royal priests, and spoke to him. The night of misery has passed, and it has been like 100 years. Overcome by sorrow on account of his son, the king has died. The great king has gone to heaven, and Rama has restored to the forest. The energetic Lakshmana has also departed with Rama. Bharata and Shatrugna, scourger of enemies, are in Kekeya. They are in the beautiful city and royal palace in their maternal uncle's abode. Someone from the lineage of the Ishwakus should now be made the king. In the absence of a king, the kingdom will be destroyed. If there is no king in a habitation, clouds garlanded with lightning will not loudly thunder in the sky, and Parjanya will not shower down water from the sky on earth. If there is no king in a habitation, even a fistful of seeds does not sprout. If there is no king, a son does not remain under a father's control, nor a wife under her husband's. In the absence of a king, there is no wealth. In the absence of a king, there is no wife either. There is yet another misfortune too. If there is no king, how can there be truth? If there is no king in a habitation, men do not construct assembles, beautiful groups, and cheerful and auspicious houses. In the absence of a king, Brahmanas do not engage in sacrifices and generous rites, nor are Brahmanas devoted to their vows. If there is no king in a habitation, large numbers of actors and dancers do not gather at assemblies and festivals and thereby enhance the prosperity of the kingdom. If there is no king in a habitation, disputes do not come to a satisfactory resolution. Those who love tales and are accomplished in reciting and accounts do not delight hearers with their stories. If there is no king in a habitation, men do not have for the forest in swift moving vehicles, desiring to find pleasure there with women. If there is no king in a habitation, prosperous people are not protected properly and cannot sleep with their doors open, nor can those who earn a living from agriculture and animal husbandry. If there is no king in a habitation, merchants cannot safely travel long distances carrying with them large quantities of merchandise. There are control sages who roam around alone at will, thinking only of a Atma and making a home for the night wherever evening falls. If there is no king in a habitation, they cannot do this. If there is no king in a habitation, yoga and shema are not ensured. Without a king, soldiers cannot defeat the enemy in a battle. A kingdom without a king is like a river without water, a forest without grass, and cows without a cowherd. If there is no king in a habitation, there is nothing like one's own property. Then, like flesh, men devour each other. Without any fear, non behaviors violate the ordinances, thinking that their inclinations will no longer be just chastised by the king's rod. Alas, without a king, it will be impossible to differentiate between anything in this world and separate the virtuous from the wicked. When the great king was alive, we never transgressed your words, like the ocean does not cross the shoreline. O noble Brahmana, look at us around you. Without a king, the kingdom will become a forest. You can yourself consecrate a young and generous descendant of the Ishwaku lineage as the king. Next chapter 62. Hearing these words, Vasishtha replied to the large number of friends, advisors, and all the Brahmanas in these words, Bharata, together with his brother Shatrughna, is happily residing in the city of the maternal uncle in the royal palace, using swift steeds. Let messengers quickly go there and bring the two brave brothers here. Means Ram Lakshmana. What else do we need to think about? All of them told Vasishtha, let them go. Hearing what they said, Vasishtha spoke these words: Siddhartha, Vijaya, Jayanta, Ashoka, and Nandana, come here, listen to me. I will tell all of you about everything that needs to be done using horses that can travel fast. Go to the city and the royal palace, abandon all sorrow, and convey my instructions to Bharata. The priest and all the ministers have asked about your welfare. Depart quickly. There is an extremely urgent work that you have to undertake there. Do not tell him about Rama's exile and do not tell him that his father is dead. Do not tell him about the uh, catastrophe that confronts the Raghava lineage. Quickly collect the best of garments and ornaments from the treasury so that they can be given to the king and to Bharata. Then leave. Taking Vasishtha's permission, the messengers left quickly. They crossed the river at Hastinapura and headed in a western direction. In the midst of Kuru Jangala, they reached the Panchala kingdom. They quickly crossed the divine Sharadana river filled with sparkling water and populated by many birds and proceeded through a region populated by people. They approached the divine Nikula tree, also known as Satyopayachana. Passing beyond it, they entered the city of Kulinga. From there, they reached Avikala and the extensive region of Tajubivavana. Through the midst of the Valika region, they reached Mount Sudama. They saw Vishnupada, Vipusha, and Shamali. Because of the difficult journey that had been undertaken, the mounts of the messengers were exhausted. However, swiftly and safely, they reached the supreme city of Giribraja to do what would bring pleasure to their lord, to protect the lineage and to bring welfare to the lineage of their lord. The messengers obeyed their instruction quickly and respectfully. They reached the city in the night. Next chapter 63.